My dad sent me to live with my aunt because he wanted to start a new life with another woman. When I was 16, I thought my dad and I had the kind of bond that could survive anything. It was just the two of us after my mom passed away. Two broken hearts trying to keep each other afloat. He worked long hours, but every Sunday we'd cook together, laugh, and pretend the world was okay. Then, one ordinary Thursday, he came home with news that didn't sound like news. It sounded like a decision that had already been made. He sat across from me at the kitchen table, his hands folded tightly. "You're going to stay with Aunt Clara for a while," he said. "For a while?" I asked, confused. "Why? Did something happen?" He hesitated, then smiled nervously. "I just think it'll be good for you. Clara lives closer to school, and you'll have company." But there was something behind his eyes, guilt, maybe, that told me there was more to it. The next day, a woman showed up at our door. She was beautiful, younger than my mom had been, dressed perfectly and holding a bottle of wine. My dad called her Lena. That's when the puzzle pieces clicked together. A week later, I was packing my things. Aunt Clara welcomed me warmly, pretending not to know the truth. She made excuses for him. "Your dad's been lonely for years. He deserves to be happy." But none of that erased the feeling that I'd just been replaced. At first, Dad would call every few days. He'd ask how I was doing, if I was eating, how school was. But as weeks turned into months, his calls became less frequent until they stopped completely. When I finally decided to visit him, I found out that he had moved to another house, a bigger one, in a new neighborhood with Lena, and I hadn't even been told? I remember standing at the gate, looking at their house, the trimmed garden, the polished car, the curtains drawn shut. It looked like a picture-perfect home, except I wasn't part of the picture. When he saw me, he looked surprised and uncomfortable. "Sweetheart, you should have called," he said, forcing a smile. I looked past him and saw Lena in the doorway, holding a baby. A baby! My chest tightened. "Who's that?" I asked. He looked at the floor. "Her name's Emily," he said quietly. She's my daughter." My world stopped. That was the moment I realized I wasn't coming back home, because home didn't exist anymore. At Aunt Clara's, I tried to move on. I finished high school, got a job, and learned to depend on myself. But no matter how busy I stayed, part of me never stopped wondering why. Why was I so easy to let go of? He could have told me the truth. He could have said he wanted to start over. Instead, he made it sound like he was doing it for me, as if being replaced was some kind of gift. If stories like this make you think twice about the choices people make, don't forget to hit subscribe to Trying Again. There are more real stories like this, stories that make you feel, reflect, and question what family really means. Years later, when I turned 25, I got a message from him out of nowhere. "Hey, it's Dad. Can we talk?" I didn't answer immediately. My hands were shaking. Part of me wanted to delete it, part of me wanted to scream, and part of me still missed him. We met in a cafe. He looked older, thinner, tired, and softer somehow. He started talking, and I could feel the guilt pouring out of him before he even said a word. "I made a mistake," he said. "I thought I could build a new life, but I didn't realize I was destroying the old one." I stared at him. "You didn't destroy it," I said quietly. "You just left me standing in it alone." He nodded. "Lena left last year. She took Emily. I don't even know where they are now." And for a moment, I didn't feel angry. I just felt sad. Sad for him, sad for me, sad for everything we'd both lost trying to fill an emptiness that never went away. He tried to reach out more after that, calls, occasional texts, birthday messages. But it was different now. The closeness we once had couldn't be rebuilt on regret. Sometimes I think about that 16-year-old girl sitting at the kitchen table, watching her father choose a new life over her, and I wish I could tell her, you weren't the problem. You were just the reminder of what he couldn't fix. Because that's really what it was. He wasn't trying to replace me, he was trying to escape his own grief. But the thing about running away from pain is that it always finds you again. Now, years later, I have a family of my own, and every time my son runs into my arms, I silently promise him one thing, that I'll never let him feel what I felt. That no matter who comes into my life, he'll always know he's my first choice. Because I learned the hard way that love isn't about replacing what's missing. It's about holding on to what still remains. Comment here about the time you felt replaced by someone you love. Don't forget to subscribe to Trying Again for more true stories that touch the heart and challenge what we believe about family, love, and forgiveness.